Rise, ye ashen, tarnished, chosen undead. Welcome, Souls fans, new and old, to the next installment of your and our Platinum Dark Souls journey. So, in the last video, we did a number of things, but we did our Stone Golem farm to get our sword and our shield. Our stats currently looking nicely at level 51. So we're now upping our intelligence, getting towards 18. We've got the rusted iron ring, we have got our first titanite slab, we've got the peculiar doll which we're going to be using. So now we're going to be tying up a bunch of loose ends and bits before we start fighting some of the bigger bosses of the game. Firstly though, we do have an unfortunate moment where we are going to have to fight Sif. First and foremost though, we have to get past the forest hunters. So what we're going to do, we're going to open this because we purchased the crest of Artorias, and you're going to get ready. You are going to run in a straight line, watch your stamina bar, and we're going to avoid all of the forest hunters by doing so. So come here, drop down, keep running, keep running, keep running. You're going to see there's someone there waiting to fight. You are likely going to hear some spells getting spammed at you. Oh, he's getting close, but he's running out of stamina now, so chance to let go. And once you're in this arch, you are now safe. Okay, we're going to talk to Creepy Cat and say yes. I am Alvina. Yeah, Creepy Cat. We're going to say yes again. And we're going to join the Forest Hunter Covenant. That is going to be either your 11th or 12th trophy, based on whether you have upgraded your lightning spear to +5 yet or not. If, like me, you have been unlucky and you only have 2 of the 3 titanite chunks, then you're going to be on 11 trophies so far. Gives you the Cat Covenant ring, but the main thing is now you're a forest hunter, you are not going to be chased by any of the forest hunters outside, but more importantly, you have to do it because you have to get every Covenant trophy. Right. Come through here, you have optional, you've got the stone armor set in there. I tend not to use it in my build. It's slightly weaker than the Havel set, but it's slightly lighter, so some of your armor options can kind of change with the weapon that you use by having that option available to you. But between Silver Knight, Havel, that kind of gives you everything that you need. So run all the way along to the end here. Make sure you've not got the covetous gold ring on. Make sure that you've got your ring of steel protection. That is going to help. Cross the bridge. Open the doors. And this is why you don't get attacked by Sif until Sif realizes that you are here trying to get the ring of Artorias to be able to traverse the abyss. That's why he's not ready waiting. It's not a case of, you've entered my domain. He's purely gauging to see if you're trying to go to the abyss, and then he's attacking you as a deterrent as opposed to creating any more dark wraiths. So Sif, key thing with Sif, like most bosses, is just make sure you respect the moveset. He has a lot of high dealing damage attacks, so we're only going to get 1, maybe 2 attacks off at a time, like most bosses. It really is about learning the timing. This swing attack is the big devastating one. The second swing is the one that can kill you if your shield is down. The normal attack is a 1, 2 or a maximum of a 3 hit combo. The jump back attack, if your shield's up, you are perfectly fine with that one. There's one, no, just doing it once. The charge attack, again with your shield down, that does a lot of damage. So just keep an eye for the wind-up. If you're not familiar with this boss, maybe watch the video a couple of times just to make sure you learn the roll timing, especially for... Oh dear. There. So it's which side does he put the sword on, depends on which attack. So that's running or a 3-hit combo, is when he goes to his left, to your right. When he goes to your left, like that, it takes a little bit longer before he attacks, and he's going for the big spin. But given that you have to fight Sif 3 times for a platinum run, and there's the 3rd hit of the combo, you get very familiar with his moveset. Two and a third. Stab. Roll. Once he's finished moving his head back. If you get hit by the first one, you won't get hit by the second. However, if you mistime your roll, if you get hit by the second, that is a lot of damage. Two, no third. Do not take your chances with the spinny one. Also, only heal when you would attack, so heal in place of your attack action. Don't try to fit a heal in. Otherwise. Oh, that was greedy. This is also a fight that, although his damage is going to increase each time, so is ours. So it's going to get definitely quicker in subsequent runs. So I guess it's going to be easier in that sense. He might charge, yep. So as you see, I'm trying to hit him in the arm. Because we're currently using the spear, and the spear moveset is somewhat limited. You can actually use the Man Serpent Greatsword, but realistically, because of the Divine multiplier, you're not going to be doing a huge amount more. I'm sorry, but that is your 12th or 13th trophy, the Art of Abyss Walking. Again, the reason why it is 12th or 13th depends on if you have fully upgraded your Lightning Spear at this stage. And what we're then going to do is grab, importantly, the Hornet Ring for later on. And at that point we can homeward. So we are not spending our souls. We have something else that we're going to spend those on. So this is one of those moments where you can go, ooh, we've got a lot of souls, I don't want to lose them. All I'd say is if you do die, just make sure you use your Ring of Sacrifice if you can. But if you play the way that I do, then you're going to be pretty safe throughout. The only issue is going to come if you get more adventurous and you engage more enemies concurrently than I do. So what we're going to do, come backwards to this puddle, and we're going to go the similar way to where we came before, where we got our bow, our grass crest shield. However, we're going to go the left route when we have the option to, which is going to lead us towards the Hydra. So what we want to do is we want to equip our rusted iron ring, because it is a high water area where the Hydra is, and that means that you're going to be on a slow movement set, and we don't want that. So there we go. So we went this way to get the drop. We're just going to come down here so that we don't take any fall damage. So be careful, we don't want to walk too far forward until we are ready to do so. We're also going to pick off these crystal enemies one by one, so we're going to use our bow to do that. So at the back there you can just about make out the Hydra between the trees, who is going to start spewing water at us. Has a chance to drop blue chunks. Pick them up if you can. Don't worry, we're going to farm for those later on though. Optional, I always do it out of habit. Inside here is Havel. Beating him will get you his ring, which increases your equipment load. So it is an option instead of the Ring of Steel Protection if you'd like to up your armor instead. Havel can be parried, however I find backstabs is the easier method to go. Wait for him to attack, just keep moving and you should avoid his hits. Just make sure you have your shield up because he has that big old bonking stick as you've seen. Which you also have a copy of because you got his chests from Ant Orlando. Hey, give me my backstab. Thank you. There we go. Havel's ring. Putting that on increases equip load. Just a nice option to have when the Ring of Steel Protection if it isn't going to do much for you, or if you'd rather change up your armor to have something more preferable to your style. Is worth noting, because we do use the covetous gold serpent ring, you're not always going to be able to have Havel's ring, so just make sure you do have that in mind, that you may have two different armor options, one with Havel's, one without. But again, it's completely optional, you don't even have to fight him, it's only 3,000 souls. So keep them back as far as possible, and we're going to pick on one at a time. Because as always, mobs is normally the way that you can lose a life in souls. Everything else is pretty much controllable. Fall damage by, just unfortunately the map takes its victims. So gravity, the killer of many a Souls player. And just getting that little bit too cocky when you're navigating through an area and getting mobbed. Come on, Blue. Here, boy. Or girl. Don't mind which. Go on. Oi. So these guys do pack a punch, so just be aware. Not as much a punch as the Hydra though, so make sure your shield is up and keep moving. Because as you can see, that was with my shield up. Heal, shield up. Nope. This is the hardest part of the fight, is just getting to the Hydra. Because once you're there, this is actually a very straightforward area. So here, can't get you. Come to this item and get your shield up. Two hand and hit ahead. Shield up. conveniently roars when it's going to attack. Two hits on a head should take a head off. One hit if you're using a Black Knight sword, if you've got one. Once you take out the first two that are nearest to you, you're going to have to move a little bit to get to the next head. We're not going to take them all out. Just enough to get that health low enough so that we can finish the job. But we're just going to keep this nice and straightforward. Because what we've not covered here is there is an edge to this water. So you can just about see a line there. See where the last two heads go. Quite far away. So yeah, we're just going to start using the bow at this point. You are welcome to chase down the heads, but as you can see, we do a respectable amount of damage with the bow, especially when the heads are in front of us. We're just going to keep this nice and safe. There we go. This here is the Knight's armor set, so the starter class. 5,000 souls for the Hydra and the Dust Crown Ring. However, that is not why we did that. Once you've beaten the Hydra, we're going to quit and reload. And that's going to spawn a new enemy. So, sticking close to this edge of the water here, come to the waterfall. Once you get to the waterfall, you are now safe to carry along the edge. This way you don't have to worry about your video settings, you don't have to worry about where is the edge or not. If you follow the path that I do, you know you are safe. I'm going to pop a heal. Make sure you definitely have the Rusted Iron Ring equipped. Otherwise, you are not going to be running through at normal pace like I am, and it's going to make the next enemy very, very difficult. If you're like, well, the Hydra wasn't too bad. This guy, this is why we quit reload, because it now spawns the Golden Golem, which has that big prison on his shoulder there. That's got an NPC in it who we're going to free. He does more damage and has more health, so just be mindful compared to the blue golems. He definitely packs a punch. Wait for a safe opportunity, and the lightning spear is actually going to be your friend here, because the elemental damage is actually going to do more damage. So, because of the amount of damage his attacks do, it takes a lot of your stamina bar if he does hit you. So just be mindful not to let your stamina go too far down. Because as you saw there, that one punch took a lot. He dies. Dusk drops down. Talk to her.
So,
make sure not to hit her.
Most gracious, I come up from Minso. Before I my hope is to. Would this be a visit?
Absolutely yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, it will be.
Then I shout. Thou art seems.
So, bye bye. Cool. Now we're going to run our way back. So you can see where we're going back to, because there's the item. But do not run in a straight line, or you are going to run off the edge where it's insta-death. So we're going to stick to the edge, and that way we're definitely staying safe. Keep an eye on your stamina bar so you don't get stamina fatigue and then have to walk until your stamina is fully replenished. And as you can see here, there is a new co-op summon sign. That is for Dusk. It will either be here or it will be somewhere in the water, so just keep an eye for it. For some reason, it's not always in the same spot.
I am dusk.
Talk
It isn't
dusk
I
again.
should-
Purchase, and we're going to purchase all 5 of her spells, or sorceries I should say. A, because we need all the sorceries for the trophy. This is the only way you can get those 5, which means you now have 7 of the 24 sorceries needed. But also,
What in me? I only-
the cast light and the hidden body are going to come in very, very handy throughout the remainder of our run. Once we've done that, we're going to go homeward. Repair if you wish. Just keep things tidy, and we're going to level up our intelligence. So we're going to 18 for our next weapon with int. Although we don't need it for our final build, we have enough flexibility in this build that going up to 18 int isn't going to hurt where we're going and where we want to be when we want to be. Next, we're going to warp to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire. And we're now going to get us some green titanites. So, from Quelaag's domain, ignore Quelana, ignore the servants, we're going to head back, making sure you still have the rusted iron ring equipped. We're going to head back to the lower Blighttown bonfire. Sadly, not a bonfire we can teleport to. This is so we can get our great divine man serpent greatsword to +5. So we're going to need to get 10 green titanite shards, which means we need to get 2 of the slugs to drop, because when they drop green, they drop 5. Also a chance to just top up your large regular titanite shards. So all in all, a nice farm to do. Don't know why I decided to do a roll there. Well, I know why. It's because I let go to recharge my stamina and pressed it again, but didn't hold it enough. But yeah, so you'll notice the difference here if you remember trudging through Blighttown, whereas now we can sprint. It's fantastic. Step. And step. So hopefully you're lucky and you only have to do this farm run once. If you have to do it more than twice, then you can take pride in that you have been very unlucky. I know that's not a good thing to take pride in, but I don't know what else I can say for you. So, we are going to flip between our rusted iron and our covetous gold rings, because obviously we're not taking off our ring of favour and protection, because then it will break. And we'll be sad, because that is never anything you want to happen. So come out, kill the mosquitoes, make your life easier. As you can see, now we have a +5 bow. We're able to do more damage to them at longer range, so we don't have to wait as long for them to come through. That should be all of them. Now we're going to get 2-hand, and dink. Don't worry about healing the poison. you're guaranteed going to get poison on this run. We don't have to go here because we've already gone right, and we've collected the pyromancy poison mist from there. Before we fight the slug, we're going to equip coveted gold. Make sure you have 10 humanity as well for that maximum item discovery. And we're going to do the slug run. Just remember, double check the bodies. I'm going to equip the rusted iron ring for better mobility. Now I'm going... Oh, nearly. Never take off the ring of favor and protection, it will break. Nice, I'm sticking to the edge. Ignore Siegmeyer. We're done with him. Now we've got our miracle, we're done with Siegmeyer. The rest of his story is pretty depressing, to be fair. So the tale of Siegmeyer is, I mean, he is a great knight of Katarina. So I don't put the rusted ring on here because I'd rather have the covetous one ready for the slugs. But yeah, so the story of Siegmeyer of Katarina, a man who is such a great knight, but because you continue to save him and bail him out, he slowly... Ooh, large titanite, not green. He slowly starts to lose his pride and his sense of purpose. And essentially, if you've ever wondered, well, hang on a minute, we're undead, and all these other undeads have become hollow, the hollow soldiers, the knights, all these other people that we've seen slowly decay. What's the difference? Oh, there is our first 5 green titanites. Fantastic. What's the difference? Well, the difference is purpose. So the hollow process is essentially you are undead and you lose your sense of purpose, your drive, and that combination is what fully transforms breakdancing corpse, is what fully transforms you into a hollow. I'm going to pop a heal here. So, Siegmund of Katarina, as a proud man with purpose, because he's going through the same undead pilgrimage as you to essentially, well, win at life, which is what winning the game here is according. So all's well and good. However, because he starts relying on you to solve his problems as opposed to himself and his own capabilities, he slowly loses that purpose and that self-confidence. So eventually he becomes a hollow. But even worse in this story is the fact that if you do follow his plot line, you meet up with his daughter who is looking for him because she knows there is a risk of him becoming hollow. And it's only after you've helped her locate him and you've worked together, and in that ash lake by the Great Hollow is where you find Sieglind, his daughter, standing over Siegmeyer's dead corpse, and you find out that he indeed did become a hollow, and she had to kill him, as she promised that she would if that were ever to happen. And then more so, depending on how your conversations have gone, she can actually resent you, because, let's face it, we are quite heavily involved in the reason why he became hollowed. And then she may actually try to kill you. So yeah, like many Souls NPC characters, unfortunately you're often meeting these people en route to their untimely demise. So we're still looking for the other 5 green titanite shards. And all we're going to do is, if we don't get them, we're going to go back to the bonfire, and we're going to do this exact same pathing again fighting all the slugs. But in this case, we got them. Fantastic. I'm going to kill this one because I can. Lovely. Homeward. So again, if you don't have the 10 green that you need, all you're going to do is from here, come out, kill the chaos spider, kill the mosquitoes, and run round and do the same path again until you get the drops that you need. And all I'm going to do is, because we've got the weaponsmith box and we've already modified it to be a divine weapon, we can actually do the upgrades at any bonfire. So I'm going to check now just to make sure my math is correct. Divine +1, divine +2, divine +3, 4, 5, and that should have cost us 9, and it did cost us 9. 9 green Titanites. Wonderful. With that, once you've got your +5 Divine Man Serpent Greatsword, we're going to walk back to Firelink. And there we go, ready for the next area. So, in the next video, we are going to fight the Capra Demon without ever seeing the Capra Demon. It will make sense if you don't already know what I'm talking about. We're then going to get our next Ember. We're going to get the large Ember. We're going to deal with the Gaping Dragon. Getting the tail cut off of that boss. We're going to farm for an Eye of Death if you didn't get one earlier in the Great Hollow. And we're going to start progressing our consumable weapons ready for boss soul conversion in our final run. So as always, I hope that you're finding this guide helpful. I hope you enjoyed the story of Siegmeyer of Katarina as an extra bonus there. And hopefully you'll like and subscribe if you are following along and enjoying the content, so that I can get enough likes and subscribes so that I can then upload my Demon Souls Platinum Guide in the near future as well. All that's left for me to say now is thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.